Hello, hello. Carol Sirabisi, licensed marriage and family therapist from Conscious Choices, here today with Conscious Moment number 5. So, I went down to the beach on Friday to go for a run. My first real venture out, other than short little grocery store visits, out into the world now that things are opening up. And it was quite an experience. And for me, heading down there and being on the beach, which is my happy place, it was kind of surreal because most of the people that were on the beach, it seemed to me, from my perspective, were in an experience pre-COVID-19. It felt like the beach was right back where we were 2 months ago, and nothing had really changed. And there were no masks, and there didn't seem to be any kind of social distancing whatsoever. People were just in the water and doing their thing. And on some level, that felt really cool, really great to be back on my beach and seeing people enjoying and happy and not thinking about the heaviness of the world that may or may not be going on around us. And yet for me, still being in a place of feeling cautious and wanting to be safe and wanting to, feeling the idea of being safe rather than sorry, that's kind of been my perspective. So for me, it was still a little surreal. I had both of these experiences happening at the same time. And here I was running down the beach, literally bobbing and weaving around people to make sure I was giving us at least a 6 feet berth of space to follow all the protocols. And in my mind, for me, feel safe that I was protecting myself. And I thought, this really is such an interesting time because everybody's got their own perspective. And, who knows what people were actually thinking or what precautions people actually were taking. This was certainly just my perspective. But each of our experiences, how we feel about this situation, and those of us who are feeling just so anxious and so antsy and longing to get back to life before COVID, and those of us who perhaps have a little bit more comfort with this feeling of unknown and maybe even feeling optimistic about how things will change and not necessarily wanting to go back to the way things were. And there are so many different perspectives on that scale. So I'm doing the best that I can, and I would encourage you too, to just kind of ride these waves and recognize that even though someone may have a completely different perspective than you, and they may be defending it with their full heart and soul, doesn't mean that they're wrong or that you're wrong, but that rather everyone's reality belongs to them. And reality is really based on perspective. It's kind of an odd thing to come to accept because our ego minds really wants things to be literal and black and white and clear cut. That gives us a sense of safety and security. And I don't know how much of that is reality right now, but again, that's my perspective. So, as you go through this week, I encourage you to be gentle with yourself and be gentle with those around you, and continue to trust that all will unfold exactly the way it needs to. And the best that we can do is take inspired action based on what your intuition is guiding you toward. Take that into your week. I'm sending you much love and light.